She stood up with a mic in her hand and said, "At least I didn't end up like Sophia, living off cheap noodles and broken dreams." Everyone laughed, my own sister, in my living room at a party I secretly paid for. What none of them knew was that the house they were laughing in, the one they thought belonged to her husband, was mine, fully paid in cash. Before we go deeper, hit that like button, subscribe and share this video if you've ever been underestimated by your own family. You're going to want to see how this ends. I was standing near the corner, holding a tray of drinks like a helper. No one noticed me, no one cared to. They thought I was just the failed artist who couldn't hold a job, couldn't keep a man, couldn't even afford her own rent. I smiled, not because it didn't hurt, but because they had no clue what was coming. They clinked glasses, made fun of my clothes, my career, even called my old studio apartment a rat box. My aunt whispered to another guest, Sophia peaked in high school. I just stood there, letting the fire build. 3 months ago, I was living in a mouldy flat, yes. Eating cup noodles, yes. But every night, while they were scrolling Instagram, I was building something no one saw coming. They laughed at my failed art business, but they didn't know I taught myself digital design, started selling viral templates, and hit 6 figures in 9 weeks. No investors, no help, just silence and revenge in the making. And now here they were, dancing, laughing, joking, under the chandelier I bought, inside walls I decorated, on marble floors I paid for. But the final twist? I had recorded every word she just said, and I was about to play it back in front of everyone. Because this, just as she lifted her champagne glass to toast her own joke, the room went silent. The Bluetooth speaker she connected for her playlist suddenly cut off, and my voice came through instead. You ever wonder what betrayal sounds like? Let me play it for you. Faces turned. Confusion spread. My sister froze. Then came the audio. Her voice, mocking me just moments ago, repeating every cruel line she had said with pride. The laughter stopped. Gasps filled the room. My mother's glass slipped from her hand, and then I stepped into the centre of the room, not hiding, not silent, this time in heels, in a black silk dress, wearing the confidence I had been building in secret. My sister tried to speak, but I raised my hand. "You think it's funny, I eat noodles," I said calmly. "Let me show you what noodles paid for." I pulled a white envelope from my purse and tossed it on the table. Inside, property documents, with my name on them. Not hers, not her husband's, mine. The entire room turned. Her husband looked stunned. "Wait, you own this house?" My uncle choked on his drink. "Sophia, you bought this place?" I nodded, slowly. "Cash, no mortgage, no help, just me, my laptop, and the same broken dreams you all laughed at." My sister's smile vanished. "Why would you hide that?" she whispered, voice shaking. I looked her dead in the eye. "Because I wanted to see who claps when I lose and who chokes when I win." Her friends awkwardly stepped back, distancing themselves like her shame was contagious. My aunt tried to change the subject, but it was too late. The spotlight had already burned the lies down. But the biggest twist wasn't even that I owned the house. That was just the surface. What I was about to reveal next would not only end the party, it would end her marriage, her reputation, and every bit of fake power she thought she had over me. And when I dropped that final truth, not even she would be able to laugh anymore. "I didn't just buy this house," I said, pacing slowly around the room as every pair of eyes followed me. "I bought their company too." Her husband blinked. What are you talking about? I smiled slightly and pulled out my phone, tapping it once. The projector behind the dining table flickered to life. A document appeared on screen, one with legal headers, purchase signatures, and my name printed in bold under majority shareholder of Keystone Media Limited. My sister's husband's company. He stumbled backward like someone punched him. That's not possible. That's my family's business. I cut him off. Was. Your family went bankrupt 6 months ago. You needed a silent investor. Remember the anonymous buyer who... The room felt like it lost oxygen. Everyone was quiet, except for the pounding of egos crashing to the floor. Her jokes had died. Now her pride was next. But why would you do this? My cousin finally asked, whispering like it was a crime to speak loud. Because, I said. For years, they told me I'd never amount to anything. They laughed when I worked nights, mocked me when I sold old clothes online, sneered when I learned coding from YouTube. But while they partied, I built. While they bragged, I invested. I didn't just get rich. I got powerful. Quietly. My sister's mascara started to smear. She knew what was coming next. I looked straight at her, not with revenge, but with power. And now, your husband works for me. So when you laughed at me, in my house, with my money, while sipping wine bought with my profits, I leaned in. But this wasn't over. Because I had one more gift for her, a final move that would flip everything she thought she had left. What I revealed next would leave her begging for forgiveness. She screamed when she saw the envelope. "What the hell is this?" My sister's voice cracked as she held the eviction notice in her shaking hands. Her husband snatched it from her, scanned it, then looked at me like he just saw a ghost. "This can't be real. This address. This is our house." I nodded slowly, sipping my water like it was champagne. Correction, was your house. You see, when you refinanced to save your business, the deed became available for purchase. I bought it last week. The silence was nuclear. Her face twisted. "You're kicking us out? You're actually going to evict your own sister?" I tilted my head, pretending to think. "Let's see. You humiliated me in front of our entire family, mocked my dreams, stole my childhood savings." Her husband sank into his chair, defeated. My sister, pale and speechless. Their laughs from earlier had turned into terrified silence, but I knew this final twist would crush them, because I had just bought more than a house and a company. What I bought next would erase the last bit of control she thought she had. Want to know what it was? I bought her wedding venue. That $1 million mansion by the lake where she planned to renew her vows next month. It belonged to me now. Her dream anniversary event, the one she bragged about to the whole family, was officially cancelled. "You can still have the party," I said, with a sly smile, "but you'll need to fill out a rental application, like everyone else, and my assistant handles those. She's not very forgiving with late fees." She shot up from her chair, her voice trembling. "You're sick. This is obsession." I stood calmly. "No. This is what happens when you underestimate someone for too long. You treat people like trash." And one day, the trash owns your whole damn life. Her husband tried to reason, but I cut him off. "Your company, the one barely staying afloat." I slid another paper across the table. "I'm now the majority shareholder. Bought out your silent partner last week. You'll report to me starting Monday." Gasps filled the room again. My cousin looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. "Wait, how did you pull all this off?" My voice stayed steady. "While you all were laughing at my little laptop and calling me a freeloader, I was working 16 hours a day. Coding, designing, pitching. I ate instant noodles for years so I could invest in myself. Now, I own everything you said I'd never touch. I didn't do this to destroy you. I did it to free me. But the consequences, that's just a bonus." She stood frozen, crushed under the weight of everything she lost in one night. But I wasn't finished. Because one last bomb was still ticking. I opened my clutch and pulled out a slim white envelope, the same kind she used years ago to invite me to her wedding, but didn't include a seat. I slid it across the table. "What is this now?" she snapped. I smiled. "An eviction notice for Mum's house." Her face went pale. "You wouldn't dare!" "I already did," I said quietly. "Remember when you tricked Mum into signing over the property because I was too broke to help her? I bought back the entire loan she defaulted on. Perfect began shifting their loyalty. The same uncles who used to ignore me started asking about my business. The same aunt who once said I'd end up single and broke now asked if I could hire her son. But I didn't come here to impress anyone. I came to close a chapter. As I walked toward the door, my sister whispered behind me, "So this is who you've become?" I turned around slowly. "No, this is who I've always been. You just never looked past your own ego long enough to see it." And just like that, I walked out. No applause, no music, just quiet gasps and one woman's broken ego crumbling behind me. I didn't need revenge anymore. I already had the one thing none of them ever gave me: power on my own terms. And that was priceless.